Welcome back, everyone, to your podcast, our podcast, the Popular Side podcast. As always, that's Inka Yusuf, and I'm Akin Adike. Inka, how's it going?
Yes, sir.
We did not coordinate this. You have a Nigeria jersey on. I have a Nigeria jersey on.
This is not actually a Nigerian jersey. Yes, it is a Nigerian jersey.
Is so complicated. Why? Just keep it.
It is a Nigerian jersey, but
you're such an Arsenal fan. You can't keep anything simple.
But yes, we're both repping Nigeria. At least we can't do anything with patriotism. We have to be Nigerians. When it comes to Arsenal fans, we might have a choice. Some people might choose differently at the end of the day. At this point,
Inka.
Sir.
Okay, so one, you gave me this jersey when I was in Lagos.
Yes.
Thank you again. I like it.
You're welcome.
You had the grace and good common sense to not put my nemesis's name on it, because otherwise that's Umar Bali. For those who don't know, I cannot stand him. Otherwise, this is a goalkeeper jersey. I would never wear that man's name on my body. Can't do it.
Yeah,
wouldn't do it. Nigeria can and should do better. We must.
Yeah, I know.
We must do better.
We must.
But
should.
Thank you for keeping this clean so I could wear it.
You're welcome.
I am
You're welcome.
in mourning. I am in distress.
Why is that?
I am sad. I am dejected.
Why is that?
Because I feel like Mikel Arteta deserves way better than what he's getting. I know we're getting into it. We're not doing introductions. We're just getting into it. But this is what's on my heart right now. And I don't know why you do the podcast with me. I know why I do it with you. And why I do it with you is you think about things differently from the regular person, right?
Yes.
So I think I feel the same way, right? So you've already said you're out of your banter era.
Yes.
You're not bantering with anybody. So
no, I'm not.
So for those who are watching, we're recording on Sunday night. On the 12th of April. Not Nigeria. Super Eagles might as well be Nigeria. It feels the same thing to me. The Arsenal had a bad game yesterday. Home against Bournemouth.
Yeah.
Arsenal lost their second home match of the season.
Yep.
4th overall in the league.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And apparently this is a disaster. At the end of that match, they were still 9 points ahead of Man City.
Mm-hmm.
With Man City having 2 games in hand.
Yes.
One of the games not scheduled yet against Crystal Palace.
Yeah.
The other one was played today, Sunday. Well, as of yesterday, they had 2 games in hand. So as of right now, they have 1 game in hand. They beat up,
and a 6-point gap.
9-point gap yesterday, 6-point gap now. They beat up on Chelsea like Chelsea owed them money, right? In the second half. I have a lot to say. Should we just do it? Should we just blow up the agenda? Just blow up the agenda and just keep going.
Let's just keep going. Keep going.
Because I am in distress, Inka. I'm not in a good place. But not for the reasons you might think.
Okay.
Not for the reasons you might think.
Okay.
I think I'm in distress because I never had faith in humans.
Yeah.
Now the tiny little faith I had in humans has been totally blown up. I saw humans who get paid to speak. Many of them millions of pounds every year to speak. Saying all kinds of things that they were not saying last week, that they were not saying on Wednesday, or Tuesday, after Arsenal went to Lisbon
And won.
and came back with a 1-0 last minute win. They changed their script completely. They were getting ready to say something when it was looking like a goalless draw. It would have been everything on fire. This is the worst day ever. And then Martinelli did what Martinelli did. Amazing assist, by the way. That was just on Tuesday, Yinka. Tuesday to Saturday is what? Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. It's 4 days. As my kids used to say back in the day, that's 4 sleeps. That's it. It's not that many days, Yinka. But because Martinelli had a moment of brilliance and Havertz had an absolute moment of brilliance, the 1-2 touch thing was ridiculous. If you haven't seen it, please see it. The narrative changed. All these people who get paid to speak changed their story. You know, now everything was well in the world. Let's focus on Liverpool, where everything is on fire because they couldn't beat PSG. Did anyone think they were going to beat PSG in Paris? Because I didn't. Did you?
No, you did. You picked Liverpool.
No. In Paris. In Paris.
Oh, okay.
No, I didn't think Liverpool was going to beat PSG in Paris. I thought Liverpool was going to advance over 2 legs, but I didn't think they were going to beat PSG in Paris. Even last year when Liverpool, they struggled. Remember?
Yeah. And they won 1-0, by the way. They won that game.
They couldn't get past Donnarumma last year, right? Okay.
Yeah.
And then everyone keeps telling me how poorly Arsenal played. And I'm like, really? Was it really that bad? Because for me, in my book, when you play poorly, you get exposed like Chelsea today. That's playing poorly when you're home. When someone comes to your house, slaps you around, and your £105 million captain gifts the ball for a third goal, that's what I call playing poorly. You know, we should stop using the results to analyze the game. You know, if when you were watching Arsenal versus Lisbon, right, in the second minute of added time, you were getting ready to say Arsenal sucks, don't change your mind because 2 players had moments of brilliance. Arsenal still suck. If that's what you truly believe, then they're still terrible.
Yep, I agree with you.
When in the 75th minute, when it was 1-1 or worse, at halftime, when Arsenal had the momentum, having just equalized, Gyökeres looking like he's about to do something. If you were not thinking this is the worst Arsenal team of the last 20 years, blah, 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 don't change your mind because Bournemouth scored a beautiful goal. You know? So if you're counting at home, Arsenal have lost 4 times in the league, right? By a total of 4 goals. Okay? They lost to Liverpool by a wonder goal in the 80-something minute, 70-something minute, late. 1-0 at Anfield. Okay?
Yeah.
I mean, we've seen Szoboszlai score many great goals this season. That's still probably the pick of it, at least in the league. There was a great one in Europe. It's probably the pick of it. Okay. And then what was the second time they lost? It wasn't Man U. They lost one before Man U. Was it Man U?
Villa.
Villa, heartbreaking. 2-1 out of nowhere. It was seconds away. Last kick of the game. 2-1 away to Villa. Okay. Man U at home. A couple wonder goals. 3-2.
Yep.
1 goal margins. I mean, these guys are so bad that when they lose by 1 goal, World War III, Strait of Hormuz settings. And then this last one, now, Iraola is, for me, one of my favorite managers in the EPL. Me personally. You know, I love that our friends, our noisy neighbors did not see it fit to pursue him as a manager because he would have rescued them from their current situation. That's who they need. This guy is one of the most brilliant managers in the EPL, in my opinion. Okay?
I agree.
So he sells his best player, and then he goes on a 12-game unbeaten run. This is kind of what he does. A year ago, about this time last year, they came to the Emirates and they whooped Arsenal. That did happen. Okay, earlier this season, we went to their tiny stadium. You know, it sits about 10,000, 11,000 people. Like, it's the smallest stadium in the division. And it was 3-2. Someone scored a hat-trick. Who was it? Someone scored a hat-trick.
Rice, I can't remember. Rice scored 2.
Rice scored 2. Sorry. I thought it was
wasn't a hat-trick. It was a brace. Yeah.
So 3-2. That's what it took to get past this. You know, styles make fights, Yinka. This was always going to be tough. The Arsenal I watched yesterday, I did not watch a bad team. I watched a team that had a sense of urgency from minute 1. For me, I thought the narrative would be, oh, they were rushing too much, because they were rushing. I didn't see the lethargy that the world saw. I saw them rushing, and in their rush, they made mistakes. In their rush, they were not crisp. In their rush, they did things they're not used to doing. You know? So when you rush and you don't get the results, and the other team doesn't break up and break apart, sometimes it happens. And then in the 75th minute, it wasn't the worst defensive sequence I've ever seen. For Arsenal, maybe it is, but that's because their defense is so good. It was a great goal. I want to give Iraola and his team credit for coming to the Emirates, for having, you know, the audacity to take the game to Arsenal. Yeah. Right? And they played defense really well. Their midfield was really good. And their attack was very opportunistic. That's it. So I have more to say. But that's my opening salvo. What is yours?
Okay, so I'll look at it from a bigger picture perspective and not necessarily from the game itself. I'll start with the bigger picture, then maybe go into the game later on. So 2 weeks ago when you were in Lagos, you remember what I told you? Yeah? I said, this is where you need to make some brutal decisions. Yeah? Because it will be unfortunate if you end the season with nothing. And the way you're going, if you're not careful, if you need to cut out the noise and just focus internally and massage those 9 points. I remember I told you, I don't care about the FA Cup. I don't care about the Champions League. But that 9-point gap that you have, you had better massage those 9 points to turn into a championship. These were, I'm paraphrasing, but these were almost
pretty much what
words that I said.
Verbatim.
That's what I said. Yeah. So when I saw the lineup against Southampton, I was like, now I'm talking, right? Because it was literally, if we don't have any other choice than for you to play. Those were the people that played the game. So you see, Dauman started. Who else?
Mosquera.
They started one of Mosquera or Gabriel. I would have done worse. I would have benched Gabriel. Yeah. I would have just said, you know what, this FA Cup, I'm just going to play the kids. If we lose, we lose. Because that game, you ended up playing some people, right? And somebody got injured. Was it Gabriel? I was happy.
Gabriel got injured. He was able to come back, but he did get injured. Yeah.
But it's obvious he's carrying a knock.
It's obvious. Yeah.
He's carrying a knock till now. So I will start with the Arteta side of things and the bigger picture, right? I like the lineup against Southampton. I'm not worried that we lost at all. Southampton is on a brutal run right now. Yeah, even they beat Wrexham 5-something or the away next game. They're on a tear right now. Right? And Wrexham is way ahead of them. So they're on a tear. So I don't have a problem with that. The Lisbon game went exactly the way I thought it would go. Exactly the way I thought it would go. Professional performance, just don't lose. I was happy to get a 0-0 draw and leave Lisbon with 0-0. More than happy. But we got the last minute win. Okay, we go. The Bournemouth game is what I would have done things differently. one of Zubimendi and Rice don't have a business starting that game. These guys, they're carrying knocks and they are drained. You heard me? They are drained.
No, I
didn't look at the sequence very well. The sequence that led to Southampton's second goal is because the Southampton midfield left our two defensive midfielders behind them. That typically doesn't happen. The two of them, bro, they are drained. That's a no-guard game. I'm sorry. That's a no-guard game. Either way, it's a no-guard game. That is a Lewis Kelly starting a midfield game. Either way.
He had a great game, by the way, at left back. He had
playing in midfield.
Game. Yeah. I know.
Because you saw what happened. So in the second half, Zubimendi and Rice were literally running away from the ball. They were, if you watch the game, they were not coming to receive the passes from the defenders anymore. So it was just Saliba going to Rice, Rice going to Saliba, Saliba going to Gabriel. The midfield was tired. And the only option you had on the bench was what? Eze and Nogard. I'm surprised.
Yeah.
Did Nogard come on for this? I think Nogard came on later on. He didn't.
I don't think
so. Who came on? I can't remember who came on again.
No. Zubimendi came out, but Mosquera came in. I don't think Norgan
Mosquera came in instead. I don't know what the lineup was at the end of the day. But you see where I'm going with this. This is the point where you need to cut out the external noise, right? And use your squad to its max. Because of issues like this, I would have loved if we played Bournemouth and we lost to Bournemouth, but Rice got to rest. Zubimendi got to rest, right? Do you understand? Saliba got to rest. Gabriel got to rest. I would have preferred that. So that you say, okay, this second leg against Sporting Lisbon and the City game afterwards, then I need to focus on those games. Your team is on fumes. Your team is drained. 3 seasons ago, Arsenal went on one lengthy unbeaten run.
Yeah, like 18.
Where they only lost to Villa. It was only a loss to Villa, I believe.
Yeah.
Guess what happened during that time? There was a 3 weeks vacation in Dubai before then.
Yeah.
And the team came back and they were on fire. Last season, that didn't happen. They didn't have a trip to Dubai. This season, it didn't happen. They didn't have a trip to Dubai. Unfortunately, you increased your squad strength and your squad quality, but even the quality is injured. Do you understand? Merino is off. Saka is off. Odegaard is off again. He's injured, right? Who else? Timber, who people have underrated over the years. It is now obvious that, yes, I'm not blaming Ben White, but Ben White is not at Timber's level now because he is also just coming back from injury. He hasn't played himself into form, right? So right now, the team, like I said 2 weeks ago, the team is on fumes. Saka is nowhere to be found. I don't even know what injury Saka has. I think this, if you check now, if you say what injury does Saka have, they just say undisclosed injury. Out indefinitely.
He has everything.
Out indefinitely. Odegaard played 45 minutes. He had a knock. He wasn't even on the bench against Bournemouth. He's off again.
Squad.
On a good day, Eze will not be on the bench yesterday. On a good day, Nkapie will not be on the bench yesterday. But they were both on the bench yesterday. And Eze had to come on. So my point is still...
by the way.
And he played well. So my point is still bigger picture. Yeah? You need to massage this 6 points gap that you have now. You have to find a way to massage this 6 points gap to the rest of the season.
Okay.
That's all I'm going to say. For the game in itself, everything you said, I agree with. Bournemouth are a perfect side. Bournemouth have not played for 3 weeks before they played Arsenal. They've been chilling. Bournemouth don't have anybody injured. You saw the way they were just making changes. They were bringing on better players than the people that started. And I'm like, this is a problem. And I knew the game was going to... A Saturday 12:30 kickoff has always been a problem for Arsenal.
Someone asked him
exactly
about that. Yeah.
Especially after an away championship match. Yeah? So for me, the next 2 games, it is all about squad management for Arteta. I'm telling you, it is purely about squad management. Yeah? And if you might have to make some serious decisions, especially given that City is after the game on Wednesday. You understand what I'm saying? So you can say, okay, I'm going to play full strength against Lisbon, especially who is available. And the game against City, I will try and play full strength also, right? But the mentality for that game, you need to be, you need to be.
You can't do that. You can't do that. I'm sorry.
Let me tell you what will happen. Let me tell you what will happen, right? Rice and Zubimendi need a break.
They do.
You have to choose which of the games you're going to give them a break in.
You don't need them against Lisbon. You don't.
Okay, so let me retract what I said. I was just giving like an example. Yeah? Okay. So hear me out. You need to make a call. Those two games, either one must rest in those two games. That's my point. Or you will say, okay, the Lisbon game, we don't need them. Okay, I'm going to rest the two of them. You have to manage. This is where the trust in your squad comes into play. If you had everybody, if you had the full complement, then of course, you know. But if you don't have them, you need to be careful the way you use the people that you have there. One last point before I hand over to you, Aki.
Go for it.
I noticed something, and I'm not sure it's a thing, but I don't know the answer to this question. Who captained Arsenal yesterday?
Oh, I noticed too. It was Rice. It wasn't Gabriel. Gabriel is next. So
why was it Gabriel?
The leadership,
the hierarchy
right now is Odegaard, Saka, Gabriel before Rice. You know, Jesus is no longer on there. Gabriel played, Rice captained.
That had never happened before.
So I'm glad you brought it up. May I?
I don't know. I don't know what that is. Go ahead.
So I think I hate to speculate, but I think there's noise coming from the let's call it British Isles commentariat.
Okay.
Right? The people who speak sports for a living in the British Isles. Okay? You know I love Rice. So this is not disparaging Rice in any way. Right? But they speak of they've already decided is the player of the season. So that's why they're invested in Arsenal winning. They don't care about Arsenal. Right? They only care about Arsenal so that, you know, Rice can win player of the season. You know, the people I'm talking about. I'm not going to call any names, right? They need, now that Kane is no longer playing in his home league, they need somebody. Foden has played like 2 minutes all season. So it ain't going to be him, right? Saka has had a season. It ain't going to be him either, right?
Yeah.
There's only one swashbuckling, all-action midfielder left. Right? You know, the Real Madrid's number 5 plays at Real Madrid. So it ain't going to be him either. So what other options do they have? You know what I'm saying? They need someone to stand up to Rodri. You know? Rodri is now a shadow of himself, right? I mean, he's been back. He's completing 90 minutes. He's completing 90 minutes, but it's not great.
Coincident. What do you mean it's not great?
Based on what it was before, I watched him today.
Yeah. But it's still better than the reason. So I watched the Chelsea game, the Chelsea City game today.
The back.
You know, it's like City played them in their half.
Yeah, I know. And they should have got a yellow card in the first 6 minutes.
Yeah, he should have got a yellow card. Not only him, a lot of people should have gotten cards that they ignored. Yeah. But what I noticed is, if we are talking about availability and receiving ball in tight spaces and turning and making something out of it, the guy is
one of one.
Does it effortlessly.
No, Yinka is
and
one
that's
of
why
one.
They can. So and I was looking at the game and I wish only and I get it. This is why we got Zubimendi, and this is what Zubimendi. I told you 2 weeks ago, you thought I was joking. Zubimendi, this is the first proper footballing season he's having. The guy is like, man, this is before I control the ball, they're already breathing on my neck. This is the English league. Nobody's going to give you room. But Rodri has mastered this thing to a T. Rodri gets the ball. He knows exactly how to release the valve when there's pressure. And that's why Cherky, Bernardo Silva. Imagine Rodri played a one-man midfield against Chelsea today.
I know.
Because Bernardo Silva and Cherky were attacking midfielders. It's the same thing they played against Arsenal in the cup. The only reason City can play that way is because of Rodri. Put any other person there, there's a problem. Put Nico Gonzalez there's a problem. Put who else? Kovacic there's a problem. Nobody else can play that role the way he plays in the English league. I'm not talking global football. In the English league right now. But yes, he's still a shadow of himself. But
many things to say. Let me start with the last thing you said. Kovacic. I think that's the best illustration of how great Rodri is. You would never count me among people that try to diminish Rodri. His Ballon d'Or was deserved. The fact that Kante never won it does not mean that Rodri should not win it. Right?
I agree.
So you don't rectify Kante not winning by not giving it to Rodri. Right? Yeah. So Kante should have won when Chelsea won the Champions League, right?
Yep.
So, but Rodri is amazing. Kovacic is one of the most decorated professional footballers in history. And when it comes on, it looks like Rodri's tiny little brother.
It's like a dupe fragrance. The original fragrance and the dupe fragrance. That's what it looks like.
You know what I'm saying? So that's how you know. And respectfully, because I love Declan Rice.
Yes.
Right? He's not Rodri.
He's not. I'm sorry, he's not.
And honestly,
and like you said, Akin, before you move on, like you said, it's two different styles of play.
It is.
Yeah. Rodri is not swashbuckling, running up and down. What he does is simple, right? The only player that I know that I can think of right now that does what Rodri does better than Rodri was Sergio Busquets.
Very similar.
Sergio Busquets.
Rodri is also physical. That's what makes him dangerous.
And maybe a bit more athletic.
It will be
a bit more athletic.
A lot more athletic.
A lot more athletic. Actually.
A lot more. Because
Sergio Busquets is those it's like you can't touch him and you can't get the ball off him.
It's well said because so the thing with Rodri, right? Rodri is as tall as your tallest defenders.
Yes.
Is usually more athletic than your tallest defenders.
Yes.
Right? He's not the, he's not the number 10 type, whatever, but he doesn't have to be. Right?
He doesn't have to be.
His skill set is not just I can receive, but his skill set is I can do everything you want a number 6 to do. Everything you want a number 6 to do. You know?
So which is why when we look at Spain, Aki, if you now have a Rodri, you now have Pedri in front of him, which Pedri is just a faster, shorter version, a more skillful, more robust version of
more number 10ish.
More number 10ish, but it's the same thing. They can receive ball in tight spots and wriggle out of it, and nothing will happen. So if you press them, you are wasting your time. You will not collect the ball.
No.
The other person is Vitinha in PSG. Vitinha and Pedri,
who has also had a Zubimendi type dip, to be fair, right? I've seen two matches now in the Champions League where different. I know, but I've seen 2 matches where the guy just didn't show up. It's hard, Dinka, to go 2 years without resting. It's really hard.
I know. But the point is, imagine, this is what I'm saying, the Arsenal midfield were running away from the ball, going back to the game.
Yeah.
We didn't have a release valve. You had the ball. Somebody needs to come and collect the ball from the defenders if nothing is happening. Until Eze came on, that is when somebody was willing to say, give me the ball in tight spaces, turn, make stuff happen. So when people say Odegaard is rubbish, Odegaard this, I'm like, you now know the importance of Odegaard, because Odegaard, in my own opinion, is not as good as Pedri before people start kicking me and stuff. But Odegaard does for us now what Pedri does for Barca.
That's very true.
So Odegaard will come and say, give me the ball, and I will initiate play from the back. right?
And
Zubimendi and Rice were not doing that against Bournemouth.
It's what David Silva used to do for City before Rodri. It's what Bernardo Silva would do when when Pedri was not. What am I saying, Pedri? When Rodri was not available, right? So that's what they converted Bernardo Silva into, right? It's not perfect. It's not the best.
Anyway.
But back to the game. So the Rodri point, very well said, is still, in my opinion, a shadow of himself. But that just shows you the height he's coming from. Because right now, he's already the best 6 in the league. And he's not very good.
He's still the best 6 in the league.
Oh, that's what I'm saying, but he's not very good compared to where he was.
Yeah, he's still the best 6 in the league.
It's scary.
See Caicedo. Everybody's shouting Caicedo.
Bro, we have to talk
you saw what happened today.
We have to talk about
You saw what happened today.
But you can't. I digressed. You asked me a question,
yes, sir.
And I started answering it, and then you started throwing all the things at me. Stop it.
I apologize. Right.
Declan Rice.
Yes.
I think Arteta fell victim to chattering class in the British Isles. I think it did. Because it's either, so there's one of two options. It's either that, which I hope is not the case, or he wasn't sure how much Gabriel could play.
But that wouldn't have mattered.
It shouldn't have. I know. I also agree. Because there's zero dispute on what the hierarchy is. We've seen it. Rice has been on the pitch every time Saka has gone out, and the
armband goes to Gabriel.
Band goes to Gabriel.
So I want to believe that what you said about Arteta falling victim or whatever for the noise, I want to believe that is the case, because it's very odd, Aki.
It's very odd.
It is very odd, and when things like this happen, this is not me breaking news or reporting anything, guys.
Say it.
It will seem as if there was a bust up in training.
So, Yinka, it could be
when things like this happen,
or he sees the team down and is looking for anything to lift them up.
Let's hope that is the case. It was just odd to me. Because you know why? Gabriel is not the silent type. He's the most vocal person other than Rice on that team.
It's very true.
So, and this was his armband to take, right? And all of a sudden, Rice walks out is leading the team.
The team out.
That is not good news. That's what that's the summary of what I'm saying.
It's very true.
That does not seem like a camp that everything is okay. That's what it seems like to me.
And that's
I
not
pray
Arteta.
everything you said is the case. And it's
Arteta
not Arteta.
Doesn't do that. And okay, one more thing, Yinka. In the England setup, Rice is like a vice captain to Kane.
Yes.
Rice is ahead of Saka for England, but Saka is ahead of Rice for Arsenal.
Yes.
Right? So he has captained England a couple times. Without when Kane was not in the picture.
Yes.
So no one
I don't think it's number 2, is it? I think it's Kane.
It might be, and then Trent. Is it Trent? Oh, okay.
I think it's
Pickford.
It's Kane, Pickford, and then,
Rice. Okay. So you may be right.
I'm not too sure, but yeah.
But it's before Saka.
Yeah, way before Saka.
Yeah,
Saka is a small boy in the English national team.
Not anymore. Not anymore. If you think about it, not anymore. But anyway, the point is,
it's odd.
Like, we don't think it's not captain material. That's not the issue. We don't think that at all. I mean, he is captain material. But
he is.
The chattering class in the British Isles have been crying for him to be made Arsenal captain. And it is very unlike Arteta to listen to the chattering
class. Hold
class.
on first. Who captained the team against Lisbon on Tuesday?
Gabriel, though. It's Gabriel.
So what happened between Tuesday and Saturday?
I don't know.
I'm sorry, but that is, anyway, we're going off tangent, but that is off. It's off. I'm not breaking news. I'm not saying anything. This is just what I observed, and this is what we observed, and this is what we're reporting on.
Yeah,
it's weird.
It's not normal.
It's weird. Anyway, enough of Arsenal. To summarize, guys, it's a 6-point lead with 6 games to go. Six games, seven for City.
Yes.
7 for City. So let's assume City win their game in hand, right?
Against Crystal Palace?
Yes. So it's a 3-game.
No, it's at Crystal Palace.
It's at Crystal Palace. But here's the thing. Crystal Palace have nothing to play for in the league. And then the semi-finals of their conference league, something tells me they will just... If I'm them, I'm not... I'll turn over.
They came back today to beat...
Against Newcastle.
With 2 goals from Mateta.
Yeah.
Long may that continue. I hope it does. They haven't even fixed the date for this
game
fixture.
Now, the worst part, there might actually be another rescheduling for City because of the FA Cup semis.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
So City might end up having 2 games. Chelsea? I don't know whenever it is.
They play Chelsea again? Who are they playing? Who?
I don't even know the draws for the FA Cup.
They haven't done the draw? Okay.
They have. I don't know. That's my point.
Okay.
I don't know. They have done the draw, right? All I'm saying is...
Okay, go on.
It's 3 points gap with 6 games, or 3 points or 6-point gap with 7 games, however you want to put it. I told you before, City is not going to win out. I've said this and I stand by it, right? And I saw this happening. There will be ups and downs. Right now, City have everything in their favor. I'll say it again. They have a fit squad, right? And they don't have the distractions of the Champions League. Yeah? Arsenal, on the other hand, they have an unfit squad, a squad that is not in form, and they still have the distractions of the Champions League. So it is now left to Arteta.
But none of
the FA Cup is not a distraction, Aki. It's 2 games on a neutral ground that you have. You're going to Wembley. I don't even know who City is playing. If it's Leeds that they're playing,
Southampton, and
they're playing this. So it would have been City Arsenal again.
Yeah.
If we had beat Southampton, it would have been City Arsenal again, going to Wembley to play again. So you see my point. I don't care about the FA Cup. Let City win the double cup. I don't care. The main thing that I'm interested in this league, and it's far from over. Even if Arsenal go to Emirates on Emptyhad on Sunday or Saturday,
as I'm calling it. Have you heard that? We'll call it the Emptyhad.
Emptyhad.
Let's make that a thing. Yes.
If they go to the Emptyhad on Sunday and they lose, it is still going to be bar. You are bar to bar. You're on the same points, right? Then it will be a goal difference matter.
Oh.
Right, because there's no head-to-head in England. It's whoever has the highest goal difference. So right now, Arsenal have a better goal difference by just 3 goals, right? So my point is the demise that is being announced of Arsenal, I'm sorry guys, is premature. It's very premature. Yeah? They could eventually die, but the death is not today. It's not yesterday. It's not the fact that they lost to Bournemouth, right? Because I can bet you City will not win out. City will not win out the rest of the games.
So I'm gonna ask you a couple questions. So
yes, sir.
The 2 teams that are not top teams that I would not want to face in the current state that Arsenal are in are Brentford and Bournemouth.
Yeah.
So I was worried about this game. I'm not gonna lie. I was a little more confident that, okay, this is at least is at the Emirates. I'm really happy that we're not playing Brentford. Their Brazilian striker, I do not want to face him again. We did really well with him the first time. I'm so glad we're not facing them. Newcastle, I think, it's the week after City. We don't have any midweek, I don't think. There's no Champions League in the midweek. So once we get through City, we have a week to rest. And I think we're playing on a Sunday. It's on the 25th. We're playing on a Sunday. That's the day City will be playing Southampton on that Sunday. So City will now be another 2 games behind because whatever their game is, they're not going to play it. So we need to rack up the points. We can't wait for fixture congestion, because you know what? Foden has played twice this season. They can just unleash him on the Brentfords of the world. We don't need that. We need to win. We need to beat Newcastle at the Emirates. I don't want any, we just need to stop. But Inka, I gotta ask you.
Yes, sir.
Next week, Arsenal go to City. Who wins?
City.
Okay. I think Arsenal. I've said this from the first game at the Emirates. I'm like, I marked this on my calendar. Like, we were talking about possibly going and everything. I thought that was the day we were going to win the league. Remember? I was talking a lot of junk.
Yeah.
I think we're going to go to the Emptyhad and win the league. And, when we look back, we'll be like, that was... And you know why? Because I'm going to throw out the Carabao Cup and say in the last 3 seasons, at least the last 2, let's say 2 seasons, I haven't been afraid of City as an Arsenal fan. 1-1, like 1-1, Arsenal versus City. I feel confident. Am I crazy?
You might be. Okay. Right? So, see, if it was full strength on both sides, yes, Arsenal have a chance of beating them, right? City don't have a midweek game. Arsenal have a very critical game against Sporting, right?
Yes.
And something tells me Arteta will go full strength, as you rightly...
He always does.
He always does, right? But he listened to me a bit over the past 2 weeks, which is fine, right? And on Sunday, I believe that Arsenal are functioning at 40% of their capabilities. City is like 90-95% right now. Arsenal 40%, City 95%. The best you can get is a draw. I'm sorry. Yeah? Because Arsenal's 2 most important players, being Saka and Odegaard, most important offensive players, being Saka and Odegaard, they're off. They asked the substitute for Odegaard, who's had a fantastic season, he's just coming back from injury. The substitute for Saka is also just playing back into full fitness. He's also just coming back from injury.
It was not
which
good.
Is
it was not good yesterday.
Yeah, but it was not good. But this is the point. Madueke wasn't good because Madueke himself is also carrying a knock.
I know.
He's also not fit.
He should have done better. I mean, against that left back, he needed to do better. But I'm not gonna flog it. Everybody
on that team could have done better. Let's call it what it is, right? For me, the only person on that team that really played well was the left back on Saturday. Frankly,
MLS
was amazing. Surprisingly,
it was amazing. It was really good.
So, which is why I said I think he has earned. And we're looking for somebody who can turn in midfield and make stuff happen. It's him. I will play him in midfield. Frankly, I will play him in midfield.
I know it's not going to happen, but here's something. I know we should leave this topic, but I have one more thing. I just have all this stuff that it come into my head. The reverse fixture at the Emirates.
Yes.
Early in the season, I think it was game 3 or game 4.
Yes.
City came in and absolutely parked the bus.
Yes.
Should Arsenal return the favor? Is that the only way Arsenal can win this or draw this? Is that what you're saying?
So you know the way games happen. I don't think City came with the intention to park the bus. I think they just came and they realized that these guys are over us like a rash, man. And they scored on the counter and they were just trying to protect that one goal, right? So also look at the game that Arsenal played, the Carabao Cup final. In the first 45 minutes, it was a balanced game. But the second half, people got tired, right? And the attack just kept on, and people started getting City started getting confident, and before you knew it, it seemed as if Arsenal was packing the bus. So packing the bus at times is not intention from the get-go for some of these big teams. It is, you just realize that how more we can't even go out. Chelsea first half today was balanced, wasn't it? Second half,
they should have scored.
Were like, in fact, I even think the goal they scored, I'm not sure that ball was offside, but they showed us something that was offside.
They did. The same as Gyökeres's. The Gyökeres's goal. I'm like, was that offside?
But they actually did show us offside for this.
Okay, I didn't see it.
They showed it, but I don't trust that line, man. That is my eyes that I look to see that line. It looked, but don't let me go down that route.
Yeah. I
But
thought
what
Gyökeres was onside too, but go on. Yeah.
Aha. But what I'm saying is, so I don't think it's about intention to pack the bus. I think it's just the reality that hits when you get on the field and you then need to amend your tactics on the fly. That's what I think, right? So to answer your question, I don't think you need to pack the bus, right? I think you need to go into that game with the mindset of, we're going to be cautious and we're going to hit you on the counter. Let City have the ball, right? And we will hit you on the counter, right? But if you get there and the game plan changes and City is also cautious and they are trying to gauge you, right? Of course, you go for it. But for you to come with the mindset of packing, when was the last time Arsenal packed the bus intentionally from minute
successfully?
one? No. I'm just saying, for the past 3 seasons.
That's not how we play. Class all season this season.
Yeah.
According to
but that's not true.
I know,
but that's not true.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah, I know it's not true. There is no. You can start the game, then you realize, these guys were on the course. These guys are pushing us. We need to sit back and defend our 1 goal, defend our 2 goal, or something along those lines. But just say I want to pack the bus. No, and I don't even think City came into the Emirates at the beginning of the season with the intention of packing the bus. They got into the game, they scored early, and they realized, oh boy, these guys are on us like a rash. We need to protect this 1-0. And the plan changed on the fly. I don't think the intention was to come there and pack the bus from minute 1. Yeah?
Okay.
And City, going back to, we're going back to the Rodri point. If Rodri had played that game, for example, right?
It would have been different.
It would have been easier for them. Way easier for them not to pack the bus.
Yeah, that's true.
Do you understand my point? But so I don't think Arsenal should go and pack the bus, to answer your question.
Okay. So you think City wins? I think Arsenal win. So I think we need a big week to turn this thing around. And I'm going to say this and we're going to move on because we're almost 50 minutes into this and we've only done one topic. Yeah. So Yinka, no one in England has mentioned City's Champions League performance. And they got battered home and away. Right? By Real Madrid side. Real, you know what I'm saying? But no one has said anything because they won the Carabao Cup.
Yeah.
And they advanced against Liverpool. They blew Liverpool. They blew their doors off.
And they're not. You call them Emptyhad for a reason. How many City fans do you know, Akin?
I know that's true.
They are nothing.
That's true.
I'm sorry, you are something, but in the larger scheme of things, you're struggling to fill your stadium. That's so true. They are not. They will not generate. Right? Imagine if these 115 charges were Arsenal
or Chelsea. To be honest.
But Chelsea has their own now. I'm saying
if it was 115
with the hatred. The hatred towards Arsenal.
I get it.
Imagine if this 115 was every single game that Arsenal win, right? If you win by 4-0, they'll say 4 against 115.
Yeah, that's true. It's true. No, it's true. It's true.
But it's because the City is not getting enough discussion as it should. It's just been, and they bought City bought. They paid for who they are. They didn't grow organically like every other person. That is the honest truth. That's the honest truth. So, anyway, enough of
I lied. I said we're gonna move on, but I got to say one more thing.
Yes,
the
sir.
genius of Pep is showing in his halftime adjustments. We've seen it in a few matches now. Carabao Cup, like you said, completely even until it wasn't. And then today against Chelsea, Chelsea actually had the upper hand, right? Until they didn't, right? Until they got completely torn apart. I think that's coaching, or yelling or whatever it is, or both. But I just wanted to say that. I think this man is the best manager in the world. I don't know what he's going to do after this season, but
I can give you that. Although I don't necessarily agree, but I can give you that, right?
And
I believe, right, that it is a situation where you have a very good coach with maximum resources, right?
That's true.
Wasn't
no,
he?
That's
true. Hold on. So wasn't he the same coach last year when they didn't have resources?
It's very true.
So you see my point. So it's a function of resources. If Arsenal had everybody fit, this season will be done since probably 2 or 3 weeks ago. That's the honest truth.
That's fair.
That's the honest truth.
That's fair. So
anyway,
having said that, I keep lying to you and saying we're done. There are people, there are humans who breathe the same air you breathe and eat food.
Yeah.
Who think Arteta should be fired if he doesn't win this league. And I just want to remind them what happened. So I'm not one of those people who goes, oh, who is going to replace him? There's no coaches in world football. I'm not going to tell you. I'm just going to show you. Right?
Yes.
I think Diego Simeone is an amazing manager. He's won zero Champions League.
Yes.
Champions League. 0. He's won a couple La Ligas. 0. The funny thing is, before this Arsenal thing happened, I was going to do a segment, best thing I saw this week. I was going to do his press conference with what's his name? Oh my God, Griezmann. I was going to do it. I was even trying to beg my little boy to come do the Spanish version for us. And he totally refused. I'm like, you read it in Spanish, I read it in English. It's like, no, I'm not coming on your podcast. That was what I wanted to do this week because I thought that was just an amazing. We'll talk. Maybe we'll talk about it next week if we have time.
We can do that next week.
Yeah, I thought it was amazing. But the reality is, and they're already saying if Arsenal advance and Atleti advance, it will be the Haram Bowl is what they're calling it.
Those people don't watch football.
They don't.
I'm telling you, they don't watch football because this Simeone Haram Bowl this lie has gone on for too long. You don't watch Atletico. They don't play haram anything. They don't. Plus, they are not Barca. They are not Real, but they don't play haram ball. You don't know haram ball.
For me, there's nothing called haram ball. There's nothing called haram ball. I could not stand Mourinho, but I was jealous of all the stuff he won. Okay? Win, I'm jealous. Okay, when it comes to your house and slaps you around and then you go to his place and it disgraces you, how can I complain? If you don't like it, beat him. Beat him if you don't
No. So the Haram Ball version of Mourinho was Inter Mourinho and Porto Mourinho.
But
that's Haram Ball.
Messi couldn't do anything for 180 minutes, Yinka.
No, but
couldn't do anything for 180 minutes.
But here's my point. Even Mourinho realized this is not sustainable. Right? The reason why I could play this way was because I had the resources to play this way. Right? Because when he then got to Chelsea, he started playing proper football. Right?
Yeah.
And even in subsequent, he went to Real. He didn't play around ball at Real.
I know.
He can't. The Madridistas will raise their white flag for him, and he's gone. He can't come there.
And he had Ronaldo.
And he had Ronaldo. You had Higuain and the rest of them. You can't play that. So yes, there is haram ball, but not what Simeone is playing, not what Arteta is playing. There's nothing haram in those. Anyway, so I guess my case.
The reason I brought it up is, guys, be very careful what you wish for. There are no great coaches in world football. Okay? There are no great coaches. Our noisy neighbors just hired one of the better ones. De Zerbi is a good coach. Is a good coach. Like he
And they
knows what
lost
he's
today.
doing. They lost. He has a point of view. He knows what he's doing. He plays good football, but it takes a while to build a program, right? I've heard people say, "Bring Xabi Alonso." I'm like, he just got fired at Madrid. I was really against firing him. I was against Abeloa. Abeloa is winning at the same rate as Xabi Alonso did. So,
Anyway, Akin,
be careful what you wish for.
Akin, you cannot straighten. You know this Ejashawa that not a car that is. What happens when you try to straighten it?
You can't.
Or those ones that are smoked flat, if you try to bend them, what happens? That's how Yoruba say Ejagbigbe Osheka. That's what we mean. These guys are grown. They are adults already, right? If they choose to behave like kids, that's their headache. If Arsenal wake up tomorrow and say they want to fire Arteta, that's their headache. If Arsenal want to keep him, that's their headache. Akin, I am not going to argue or defend anybody anymore at this rate. Waiting your eyes see, whatever you root for, waiting your eyes see. Me, I'm old enough to say, oh, I apologize, I made a mistake, I got it wrong. But some people today, they've so dug themselves into a hole that they have to maintain that whatever. So for every time, exactly. So every time Arteta loses, Arteta out comes. It's just crazy. And they say, oh, he has spent XYZ. I said, has he outspent Guardiola that is chasing?
Nope. Or Chelsea?
He hasn't. Or Chelsea that spent more than him, are they doing what he's doing? Context matters. So if you are foolish enough to say, no trophies in 6 years, I just look at you, I'm like, okay, it's your decision. If you want to be stupid, be stupid. It's none of my business. Right? And luckily, you're not the one in charge of the club. Are you? No, you're not. Luckily. Because, Akin, if Arsenal fans were in charge of the club, the Arsenal fans that we're talking about, Yann Villa would have played for Arsenal. Yes. What's his name? Nuri Sahin would have. These are bloody average players that they would have played for Arsenal. Till today, some people still believe that Arsenal has not replaced Vieira.
The one that went to Atleti. That would have come to
Thomas
Arsenal.
Was it Thomas Lemar?
Yes, for £92 million.
For £92 million. Right? They said we've not replaced Van Persie. Till today, we've not replaced Vieira. Till today, we've not replaced. See, let everybody meet and let
the French guy everybody wanted. Remind me.
Yann Villa now?
No. Arab French guy, Algerian French guy from like.
The guy that is now in the Saudi league.
Yes. What's his name? I can't remember his name. It's like a Turkey type name. I forget.
Awa.
Yes, that's it. Man,
what are we talking about, Akin? So for me, let people do them. I'm tired. I'm not going to say anything.
Inka, we just spent a whole hour on Arsenal. This is I apologize to everyone. This is therapy for us. It is what it is. It doesn't happen every day, but it is what it is. We try to be objective, but it is what it is. Okay, Inka, I'm gonna drive a very tight next 15 minutes. So
yes, sir.
No, I don't want any long explanation from you. Okay, like give me yes, no answers. Let's keep it moving. Okay, you ready?
I'm ready. Let's go.
Okay, can we just take 2 seconds and laugh at Spurs? Because, bruh, they're on their third manager this season.
Yes.
And the result is still the same. Do we want to talk about it? And they have good players.
Let's laugh at two people. Okay, so to be fair to them, right?
Go for it.
They have good players, but they've had a horrible season with injuries. Yeah?
Okay. When I said it, you didn't agree, but okay, keep going.
No. They've had a horrible season with injuries, right? Okay. But it's Spurs, right? So Arsenal too is having a torrid season with injuries. That doesn't mean we should be in relegation, right? Liverpool, they've had their fair share. They've had their fair share of injuries. That doesn't mean they're battling relegation, yeah? So I think Spurs is getting what they deserve. They've focused too much. And I told you several weeks ago that if you're looking on paper, the club that is looking to balance the books and be profitable, it's Spurs.
It's Spurs,
and it's not even close. It's Spurs. But now that has caught up with them. They've invested stupidly. I'm harsh today. I get it. Ramadan is over, so I'm back to my usual self. They've invested stupidly, and they're paying the price for it. That's the honest truth, right? And Spurs fans are happy that Arsenal will lose the league. They at the beginning of the season, or midway through the season, when Arsenal was doing very well and they were like, which would you rather? Go down and Arsenal not win the league? Most of them said would rather go down than for Arsenal to win the league. So they're getting what they deserve. They're getting what they wish for. They're getting what they wish for. They're going down. They're now 2 points behind West Ham. As of today. It has to happen.
What position are they in? Are they 17?
Is 19 teams, there were 20 teams. 20, 19, 18. They are in relegation already, Akin. They are 18.
They're 18. Thank the Lord.
Yes. That's what I'm saying. They are 2 points behind the people on 17th.
I love it.
So that's one for Spurs. Now, I'm going to talk about Chelsea. Chelsea fans today, I saw Chelsea fans that were jubilating that City beat them. God, please, don't let me ever get to this level. Don't let me get to a level where my progress, I would rather not progress. I would rather my enemies fail and me not progress. What kind of rubbish is that?
I know what you mean.
You know what I mean? You get my point. What kind of rubbish is that? They were jubilating, Akin, that City beat them. It's a shame.
The closest I've ever come was the one time they made the Champions League finals. But it had nothing to do with us. Yeah, it had nothing to do with us. But I was praying, supplicating, everything. Like, they cannot win this thing. I knew they were not going to win. It was Liverpool, so they were never going to win. Was it Liverpool or Real Madrid?
And the reason why I brought the two of them together, Spurs and Chelsea, remember it was the same 2 seasons, last season, 2 seasons ago.
It was 2 seasons ago.
Where Spurs, City at Spurs fans in the stadium were celebrating when City scored.
Yeah, I know.
This is madness.
No,
I don't understand it. I don't get it. And I saw Chelsea fans today saying Arsenal butlers. I'm like, really? You guys are on 48 points. You are about to miss out on the Champions League.
Yeah, they're 4 points behind Liverpool.
And you're celebrating losing at home.
Yeah.
That's a shame. Okay. It's a shame.
Yeah, anyway, we're gonna move on. We're gonna move on. So that's Spurs. They're at it again.
Yes, sir.
God bless everybody. We're gonna move on. We're gonna do the fastest zip around Europe we've ever done.
Yes, sir.
Starting with France. Is there anything interesting going on in France? Yes or no?
Nope. PSG 4 points ahead, 1 game in hand. All is good.
Okay, so it's done. Bundesliga. Before you do Bundesliga, I have a tie-in to Spurs. Yinka, who is the leading candidate for the Ballon d'Or this season? This is not a trick question. There's only one answer.
Who? I don't know. It's a trick question for me.
It's not. It's Harry Kane. Harry Kane is top of the leaderboard.
I know you're going to say Harry Kane.
It's Harry Kane.
Okay.
It's Harry Kane. These people, these clowns, let him go, replaced him with Dominic Solanke. Like, these two things, one of these two things is not like the other. You know what I'm saying? And then the most unceremonious exit in the history of club legends exiting was Son. They announced Son was leaving right from the Asian tour.
I didn't even know
You didn't even know it was gone. I was watching the Asian tour. I didn't know it was gone. Because we played.
I didn't know it was gone.
At the Asian tour. That's when they announced it and it was crying. And I was like, what is happening?
I didn't know. I was just watching LAFC. Highlights of the MLS. And I saw him. I'm like, Son has a twin brother. I'm telling you, I didn't know.
So you can't. I'm sorry. They deserve this. And again, Spurs are the only club in the world that could have Randall Kolomuani and be in relegation. This kid is a baller, Yinka. This kid is a baller. I can tell you right now that if Arsenal had him, we wouldn't have all these issues we have with scoring goals. I can tell you that. I can tell you that right now. They're the only club in the world that can have Randall Kolomuani and be in relegation. This is hard to do, Ika. This is hard to do.
That is Spurs for you. Anyway,
Okay.
Bundesliga. Bayern has scored 105 goals in the Bundesliga this season.
I know.
Harry Kane has 31 of those, right? So there is nothing to report here. They are 12 points clear. It's a slam dunk. It's a slam dunk. Next.
I'm gonna say something real quick. It's really hard for me to be happier for any human being than I am right now.
Company.
For Vincent Kompany. It's just,
I tell you,
I don't know. Like, it's just an amazing, we don't know any of these people, right? Personally, but it just presents like an amazing specimen of a human.
Absolutely.
You know? And I want him to do well so badly. He's such a great ambassador, you know, and it's really, really, really hard for a black coach to get a chance.
Yeah.
And I love that they circled back to him as their number 8 option. Thank you very much, Bayern Munich. You know, thank you for the 7 people, including
that Ragnick. Said no.
Including Ragnick, who said no, like, how dare you? Right? Again, but Yinka, you know, we talk about this all the time. We don't get Obama if Bush doesn't mess things up to an extent.
Yep.
You know, in this world, you know, that we try to compete in, right? You know, where we try to have some measure of success in this hyper competitive world. If you're a woman or if you're what they call a minority, because we're not minorities, there's more black people in the world than, you know, some other people. So we're not a minority, you know, in the grand scheme of things. It is really, really hard. Sometimes you only get a chance at the worst jobs, or even if they're great jobs like Bayern, when people think they can't have success.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. So I'm so proud of this guy. I'm so happy for him. You know, like, and when I see him speak, I'm just like, he does us proud. There's no other way to put it.
Yeah. Top human being.
Yeah.
Top human being. And even his players, the people he captained at City, people he captained at Belgium, everybody says the same, right?
Yeah.
You know, that he's a standout human being. So I'm happy for him. I'm very happy for him.
I hope Arsenal win the Champions League. But if we don't...
I have Bayern.
I know you have Bayern. If we don't win, I hope Bayern do. I think we're going to win it. I think we're going to win it. And I know they're not the same club that we beat 3-1. And we're not the same club that beat them 3-1. Right?
Yeah.
So right now, they're offensively, they're the most balanced club in Europe right now. Because their defense is much improved. It's not great. But it's much improved. It's better than Real. It's better than Real. It's better than PSG.
Way better.
Just being real.
Yes.
So in the tournament right now, they have the second best defense after Arsenal.
Yes.
They do.
Yes.
Because it's not Liverpool or PSG that you... No. They have the second best.
I agree. They have the second best defense.
But attacking-wise, they have the most consistent.
The best attack.
Yeah.
Exactly.
They have the most consistent. Because if
Rafinha
doesn't show up for Barca... Yeah. If Rafinha doesn't show up, they're not the same.
They're not the same. The same. Yeah.
You know? So
at midfield, they have Kimmich, they have what's his name?
They have a
Pavlovic.
hard-working midfield, and they also have some flair to the midfield.
Yeah. Can you imagine Musiala hasn't even played that much this season? It's
ridiculous. And then they have a crazy manager. Crazy meaning he's on 100 all the time. He doesn't know how to dial anything back. It's like, you know, he's on 100 all the time.
Yeah. You're right.
So I do not want to play them.
The game I saw at the Emirates, right? You could see 2 crazy managers. It was like a tactical game of chess.
It's insane.
You could see the 2 of them, like, you know.
So
anyway.
I hope we don't face them. Let us go and play our haram ball, jejely, right?
No, if you're going to face them, you're facing them in the final.
But I want to face PSG in the final. Me personally, I want to face PSG in the final. That's just me.
If we get to the final, I don't care who's on the other side. Frankly,
we will get to the final.
I don't care who's on the other side. But if we don't get, I want Bayern to win, and the main reason why I want Bayern to win, right, is because of company. No. I mean, other than Arsenal. If you get what I'm saying.
I'm like, whoa. Right. What are we doing? Okay.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I look at the Arsenal team. I'm like, you're 30-40% at your capacity right now. I'll be surprised if you get to the final. That's my honest take. Yeah, but if Arsenal get to the final, of course I'll support Arsenal. But other than that, Bayern.
Yinka, this is the optimist in me, right?
We are opposites when it comes to that. You are the optimist. I'm the pessimist and the realist.
But
you live in Wonderland all the time.
But you can just imagine. Look at the things we've seen in the past. We've seen Gabriel Jesus before his latest injury come back and score 4 goals. Against Crystal Palace, but he did it.
Yes,
right.
Yeah.
So I'm like, who knows? He almost scored in midweek. He almost scored.
Yeah.
That's twice now that he has almost scored by like this much. But really, no, Gabriel Jesus aside, right? When I think about the people that could come back from injury, when you finally get more than 50% of Saka, when you finally get more than 50% of Odegaard, then maybe we can finally see that squad depth that we've been talking about. So I'm hopeful. Until then, we'll continue playing haram ball. Until then, okay.
Noted.
Italy,
La Liga. Oh, you want me to go to Italy first?
Yeah, Serie A.
So in the Serie A, Como Inter played this evening. Inter won 4-3. It was a crazy game of football. So right now, Inter are like 9 points ahead with I think 7 or 8 games to go. So curtains. Inter has won the league.
Curtains. La Liga,
Real Madrid drew. Real Madrid drew.
You need to tell us at home because you were the one that said Real Madrid was going to win. So you need to tell us yourself. Keep going.
No. But things have changed now. They've sacked my manager now. If they are kept in, they sacked my manager for no reason whatsoever.
Oh, they sacked him because he wasn't winning. That's why.
No, but when they sacked him, he wasn't that far off now. Now, see what's going on. They sacked him because they lost in one cup competition or so, right?
That they couldn't have cared about.
And they sacked him because probably Mbappe, which
mutiny. Mutiny.
He led
a mutiny.
But we need to start looking at Mbappe somehow, right? Your 30-something goals without any trophy to show, week in, week out, or season in, season out. Sorry, guy.
Yeah.
Something has to change, right?
You're not Monaco anymore.
You're not Monaco anymore, right? You can't be claiming I'm the best player in the world, and I have nothing to show for it. You can't be scoring empty goals. Empty goals is not how it works, right? And you can't say you don't have the supporting cast.
You're at Real Madrid.
You do.
You're not at Spurs.
You do.
Harry Kane was at Spurs. So imagine if Harry Kane now went to Bayern Munich, and that's when they don't. No. No.
So I'm sorry, right? There's a lot of this sits at your table, and Mbappe, you are earning £500,000 per week on the average or thereabout. Come on, man. This can happen, right? It can. It can.
And he's in his prime. He's in his absolute prime now. Yinka is 27. That's his absolute prime right now.
Yeah, but unfortunately for him, he had a gash on the head. It might even be concussed over the weekend. So we're not sure whether he'll play against Bayern. I'm like, be deceiving yourself. They said be deceiving yourself. He's so playing against. If he was going to wear a top hand or whatever, he's so playing against Bayern.
Put Lawani on his head and keep.
He put Lawani on his head and play proper haram ball. Proper haram ball.
Oh Lord.
So they drew 1-1. Barca won. So Barca.
I think they were playing Espanyol. So that was Barcelona derby. Was it 4-0 or 4-1?
I think it was 4-1. I think it was 4-1. But one interesting point: Atletico lost to Sevilla. So Atletico know the league is done. So they're just waiting for Barcelona in the second leg of the Champions League. We'll quickly talk about the UCL after this. So I won't go into that. Yeah. Okay. So Barcelona 9 points clear of Madrid. I don't think anything's gonna happen. I think Barca has won the league. Yeah.
Okay. EPL, we just did the hell out of the EPL, so we don't need to do it again. But
we don't need to talk about the EPL.
But Yinka, again,
yes, sir.
It's amazing to me how much of a pass teams are getting. Mm-hmm. You know, like Man U are not good, and they're above Chelsea, and nobody's saying anything about Chelsea. Okay, so again, you know, I will not say what I want to say about Chelsea because it might be offensive to some people. You know, but they were open today, like some establishments that you don't want to talk about. That's how they were open in the second half.
Aki, let me tell you something about Chelsea. You know, I gave them grace 2 weeks ago. I'm still giving them grace. But do you know that they're only 3 points ahead of Bournemouth?
Ouch.
And Bournemouth is in 11th place.
Ouch.
So Chelsea
beat Arsenal. Yeah.
Exactly. So Chelsea, they're closer to Bournemouth and Fulham. Fulham is at 12. They are 4 points ahead of Fulham. They are on 48. Fulham is 44. Fulham is 12th. Liverpool is 52. So the gap between them and who is directly above them, do you understand what I'm saying? So Chelsea can fall to 14th in the blink of an eye. And you are celebrating that you lost to City. This is madness. This is shameful.
But they have
you're saying, oh, Arsenal are butlers. I keep saying this thing. There is a more crude and rude version of this proverb, but I will say it in the best way, right? That somebody, right, that has gonorrhea cannot be mocking somebody that is sorry, the reverse is the case. Somebody that is impotent cannot be mocking somebody with gonorrhea.
Oh my! I'm not touching that.
I'll let it rest. It's shameful, man.
Ramadan is well and truly over for you.
It is shameful. They were jubilating. I can't do this. Sad. I don't know how it works. Anyway, let's start the podcast when we don't get good.
I think they would have been better off with the coach they fired. At least in big games, it would have showed.
Yeah.
This man there, he doesn't have it. So, but we're gonna move on. Okay, Nika, we need to talk very briefly about the Champions League.
Yes.
The quarterfinals are on right now. The first legs have been played on last Tuesday and Wednesday. The second legs are about to be played in 2 days and in 3 days. Let's quickly step through what's happening and we'll go from there.
Yeah, so we've talked about the Arsenal side of things. Arsenal won.
Let's formally talk about it. Let's what happened. Yeah.
Okay, so the game in itself, right? A lot of people said, "Oh, it was a drab game." I don't think it was a drab game. This is how you play. This is how you play European football when you're going to a Sporting Lisbon that has not lost at home in the Champions League. Sporting Lisbon that beat Madrid. Who else did they beat during this whole run?
Man City.
Yeah, and they beat Man City and the Bodo Glimt they smashed Bodo Glimt 4-0. So you need was 5 eventually.
3. Yeah, 5. Yeah.
Yeah. So you need to go to these games and not lose and not concede, right? Surprisingly, people want Arsenal to play the way Liverpool played, to play the way to play the way City played against Madrid. Yeah. Because City lost the game to Madrid in Madrid, right? You know, but this is how you play. This is European football. This is how it's done. If they give you the benefit of that that home advantage for second leg, you need to make it count and not put enough pressure on yourself, right? So Arsenal won 1-0. Last minute goal by Kai Havertz. Very, very, very good goal. Sporting had a couple of chances. Raya had some fantastic saves. But altogether, they were really not. I don't think they were that. The threat that they gave Arsenal wasn't that much. So the game ended 1-0. The other games, Real Madrid Bayern, that was a good game of football. I think that's the kind of games people want to watch. Open game where everybody's bass, right? And a lot of people don't know this. That Arsenal game being the way it wasn't only Arsenal. It was the way Sporting also approached the game. Yeah. So it was both sides that were extremely cautious. But on the game between Real Madrid and Bayern, people also don't know this. Bayern were the cautious side. Madrid were the reckless side. Yeah. Right? Bayern controlled the game. Right? It was when they realized these Madrid guys are way too open. Yeah. That's when they hit them. Yeah. They came out and they hit them surgically. The first goal and even the goal that Madrid scored, right? Yeah, it was they bundled over. They had some good chances. What's his name?
Vinny Jr. should have scored.
Vinny Jr. should have scored. Mbappe should have scored.
Yeah.
Neuer was just back to his, his fantastic self.
Peter Schmeichel said he saw the best save he's ever seen in his life. I thought that was a little hyperbolic.
Schmeichel is always blazing. It was a good save. Down to the
the one down to the right. Yeah,
the one down to his right. Yeah, was a good save. Barcelona and Madrid, they are the only ones that keep shouting remontada. Do what you're supposed to do. Don't be shouting remontada all over the place.
So you don't have to do remontada.
No, they don't have to do remontada. Now they are saying they are going to Allianz Arena and they are going to do remontada. And I'm like, good luck to you. I don't know whether it is possible. I doubt it is. Yeah. Bayern are quite comfortable at home. And in this particular game, Akin, you know what's going to happen. I don't see Madrid going into Allianz Arena and getting a result. Yeah,
it's 2-1 right now, right?
Yes, it's 2-1 right now, and there are no away goals rules and the rest of it. So it's gonna be a shootout. Yeah, Bayern don't need to chase the game. I'm sure Bayern will just play their normal game, keep it tight, keep it simple. The onus is on Madrid to attack them. Frankly, between you and I think Madrid will go through. Then the PSG Liverpool game, for me, PSG should have scored more. Frankly,
yeah.
Dembele was wasteful in front of goal. Liverpool looked poor. Imagine bringing Isak, thinking Isak would do something. Isak does not play the game all through the year. Ekitike I think the occasion got too big for him. That's his former club and the rest of it. Yeah,
former club didn't do great.
Yeah, French guy. The occasion was probably too big for him. He was a shadow of himself. Florian Wirtz. Yeah, the guy keeps getting passes, but he was horrible in that game. There's a particular sequence where he had an opportunity to make a pass. He misplaced the ball. The ball ricocheted to him. He tried the pass again. And he still missed the pass. I'm like, wow. And this is the same Florian Wirtz that during the international break was running rings around everybody that Germany played in their friendlies. He looked a completely different player for Germany than for Liverpool. So, I don't know. Yeah, maybe hopefully he can unify those two identities next season. But this season, he's been poor for 52 million pounds. That's horrible. It's been a bad, poor season, for him. Anyway, then the last game is the Barca Atletico Madrid game, and this was the one I told you that I wasn't too sure of. I said this. I said, my pick was Barca, but I'm worried about Atletico. There's this MC finish familiarity, whatever, that could happen. And it did. Barca kept on huffing and puffing, what's their name? Madrid just had one counter. Yeah. Atleti had one counter and there was a red card and a free kick. Now I heard Barca is appealing the red card and stuff. I'm like, guys, there's precedence for this stuff, right? We've seen games, for example, was it David Luiz, Arsenal Wolves? David Luiz did not even touch the guy, not to talk of this case where he ran across the guy. Yes, there wasn't a foul, but it's not until you foul somebody. The guy was running this way, you ran across him. So for me, that's a ducks all day. I don't know what they're appealing for. But Barca were shouting that, it wasn't a red card and all that stuff. Then Atletico professionally handled the game. Julian Alvarez, perfect free kick, perfectly placed free kick. The only free kick that is more better placed than that will be the Rice one against against Madrid last season. Yeah, and they scored. But I believe that Barca can actually go to Atleti and actually get a result. They've done it before. They have. It was in the Copa. It was one of the Copas or so that Atleti beat them, and they went and they almost got it. In fact, I think they won. They won the game 3-0 or so. I think it was 4-0, 3-0. I can't remember. It was maybe 3-0.
They needed one more.
They needed one more, and Barca couldn't get it. So I'm still gonna stick to my pick and say, maybe Barca will go through. But it's a tough one for them. It's a tough one for them.
I had Barcelona, from my side. I'm very surprised. I had Barcelona winning. I was shocked by Atleti. Who would I rather play? For me, it doesn't matter.
Beat Sporting first. Don't say who would you rather play. Beat Sporting first.
I'm not like you. I will look past Sporting and we will win at the Emptyhad. Again, what is the point of being a fan if you think everything is always on fire and everybody's going to die?
No, I don't think everything is on fire. That's not what I think. I will support Arsenal on the day, right? But you know the way. So how do I put this now? It's about form. It's about consistency. It's about where you are at a particular point in time. Before this fixture came up, what did I tell you? I said Arsenal are going to beat Sporting. That's my, as an Arsenal fan and as a quote-unquote pundit, I believe Arsenal will win. But looking at the reality on ground and the way the team is playing and the injuries and the issues the team has currently, it's only fair that I'm a bit skeptical. I don't think it's out of the ordinary that I'm a bit skeptical. Yeah. So just get past Sporting. Get past.
There will be less injuries come Wednesday. Yeah. Right. Last week they played on Tuesday. That means the return leg will be on a Wednesday. Right. So they would have more time to recover. Right. They played early Saturday, which was bad, but now it's good because you played early. You get more time to recover. Right. So
I get your point.
You know what I'm saying? So I just want Arsenal to, at some point, you have to put your big boy pants on, right?
Yeah.
So the Bayerns, the Real Madrids, the Inters, even the AC Milans until very recently, and the Barcelonas of the world, they compete on four fronts every season. Every season they have injuries, and that's something Arteta always talks about. It's like no one talks about Ronaldo and Messi. No one complains that they play 65 games a season. Go ahead.
So if that is the case, so if there's one particular criticism that I can levy against Arteta, is he's a bit culpable in terms of running this team to the ground. If that is what you were saying, then Noga should have more minutes.
I understand.
Those teams don't do what you did to your midfield.
Okay, that's fair.
You don't use people as spare tire. You use your squad diligently. So there are some games that Noga should have played. There are games where Martin Lewis Kelly should have played ahead of the people that. Do you understand what I'm saying?
I understand.
You should use your squad more. It's not one when option 1 is now not available, they'll now play option 2. You just wake up and say, this game, I'm mixing things up a bit, if you get what I mean. It's not, you can't really control these things, but I think to some extent, I will say it's part of his learning and becoming a better manager. You need to learn to use your squad better than he has. And Nogard is the excuse, is the main whatever for me. The minutes that he has garnered this season is not good enough. Absolutely not good enough.
Okay. Yeah. On that amazing note.
Yes, sir.
Let's see. What else do we have? We need to wrap.
I think we've covered everything. Covered everything. We have. So
we have a donkey of the week.
We talked about the empty. Oh, donkey of the week. God bless you. Chelsea fans. I gave you grace 2 weeks ago because of what happened, right? And I'm sure the person to which I gave you the grace, the person that is responsible for me giving you all grace, he will be livid with you if this is what he witnessed. This is madness, man.
It is.
This is madness. And I'm talking to the Chelsea fans that are on my timeline, on my WhatsApp group. Those ones in particular. I'm looking at you guys. I'm talking to you all.
Okay.
I'm not even talking about the people in the stadium right now.
Okay.
Come on.
How
can you be celebrating? No. Let's be real. You're 4 points from 13th. You need the points. You don't want to play Champions League next season? You need the points and you're celebrating because Arsenal, you're helping City win. This is the City that has colonized the league, quote and unquote. They are smashing everybody. If there's anybody you should be supporting, it should actually be Arsenal to say this City dominance is even too much self. Now only you. If that would be me. But you're like, okay, I hate these people. I don't want Arsenal fans to celebrate. It's ridiculous, Akin. And please, I hope this is just limited to football. I hope that this is not your perspective on life in general. Let's hope it's just football. That I will sacrifice my own success because I want my enemy to fail. No way. No way.
On that amazing note, I am going to wrap. This has gone on way too long. Thank you, Inka. Thank you, everyone. Yes, we're sorry we went way too long, but like I said, it is what it is. It is
what it is.
Please subscribe, share, send on WhatsApp to your people. We need to get our numbers up. We appreciate all the engagement, but we also need to get our numbers up. We will be back next week. Yinka?
Yes, sir.
I do have travels, but we will be back next week.
Every week you have travels.
It's okay. It's okay. The kid has a tournament. So it's not me. The kid has a tournament. So I have to drive. But until then,
it's all good.
Yinka, you want to say goodbye?
Thanks, people. This was fun. Although it was long, but it was fun and quite therapeutic. Hopefully Sunday will be a different vibe.
Because we're gonna win.
Well, hopefully we'll see you when we see you all next week.
All right. Thank you, Inka. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks,
we'll
people.
See you next week, and goodbye.